Hello and welcome back to Fallout 76. Today we're going to have a look at my non-VATS Energy Commando build. Now this character is designed primarily for hipfire, and it uses automatic energy rifles. So let's start with the legendary perks. So first up, I have Master Infiltrator. I know a lot of people hate this perk and think it's a waste. I actually use it all the time, so for me it's really beneficial. It's not necessary for the build itself, but I do like this perk, and I actually don't have any pressing needs in its place anyway. Then we have Taken One for the team. When an enemy attacks me, they will take 40% more damage. Now, the requirement for this is you have to be on a team and you have to have a teammate, which I will not have for this video. I'll be on a team, but I'll be all by myself on the server, so it won't come into play for the video. But when you are on a team, which is primarily how I play, this actually can help with a lot more damage on bigger targets, boss targets. And what rads? I do play as a full health character, so with this card, rads are pretty much a non-issue. And then I have 3 legendary special points. I have luck, endurance, and strength. Pretty much anything will work, but those are the ones I am using. And just a note on the perks in general, I do have a link to the build in the description, so you can actually see what the base stats are, and then the legendaries will be on top of that. And mutations are also part of that build as well. So first up, in strength, we have Traveling Pharmacy to reduce the weight of all our chems. Blocker to kind of deal with melee enemies, at least reduce the damage from them. Scatter Shot. Now this is not really designed as a crippling build, but I did have the room for this, and this seemed like a good place to put this. So we do have Scatter Shot. So basically when you do damage to one, or you're targeting one body part, a portion of that damage is distributed to all the other body parts. So you can just cripple things faster, usually bigger targets. And then Easy Target, this will give me extra damage on crippled targets. So whenever there is a spot when I think, say you don't have enough perk points, because I do have 15 extra points from legendary specials, maybe you have less than that, these 2 perks are actually a spot where you could easily cut. You could take these 4 off and you wouldn't notice a whole lot of difference in terms of the performance of the build. And also if you want to run ballistic weapons, now I don't have any ballistic weapons, so I don't carry ballistic ammo, but suppose you do. Suppose you have a ballistic weapon and you carry ballistic ammo, you can easily swap one of these cards out and put in Bandolier in its place. Under Perception, we have Number Cruncher. So I do have all of the weapons modded for the highest AP possible. Because I'm not using VATS, that's what I want. And so this can add quite a bit of damage. So next up we have Ground Pounder. It gives you faster reload and better hipfire accuracy. If all you care about is the reload, Fast Fighter is a little bit better because you can get it for just 2 perk points. And it's about the same. I did test it on the Tesla rifle. That's one of the weapons I use. And its Fast Fighter might be a little different, might be a little quicker, but it's not much different. But I have this for the hipfire accuracy. That is the main concern for me. All of my weapons have a decent ammo capacity, so fast reloads really aren't much of an issue. So that's why I'm using this over Fast Fighter. We have Tank Killer for armor penetration. Center Masochist, I'm hip firing most of the time. That's what I'm going to be hitting is torsos, so extra 75% damage there. Skeet Shooter, this is for the extra spread. This just tightens the crosshair with this perk. And Grenadier, because of the Tesla rifle that I use, this will give me, I do use fractures as well, so this will increase the radius of the explosions, and it will increase the radius of the reach of the Tesla arcs. Under Endurance, I have Life Giver for extra health, Iron Stomach, which gives me extra energy and damage resistance, Natural Resistance, which will protect me from fire, poison, and cryo. It gives a level of resistance there. Thirst Quencher, which is extra AP, Vaccinated, extra disease resistance. Adamantium Skeleton gives us a little bit of protection from limb damage. Fireproof, which is good for resistance on explosions. I do use a jetpack on my torso, so this is my only explosion resistance, so I definitely want this card. Starch Jeans, I have mutations, I want to keep them. And Rejuvenated, this gives me bonus endurance and strength when I am well fed. So Endurance is another spot where if you have fewer perk points than I have here and you want to look for some cuts, most of this stuff you could actually get rid of. Rejuvenated, I mean, it's a nice to have, but it's really not essential for the build. Adamantium Skeleton, again, it's a nice to have, but it's not essential. Vaccinated, definitely not essential. Disease Cures are pretty easy to craft, and they're very plentiful. Thirst Quencher, we don't really use VATS, so the AP here is only useful for the jetpack. So again, that's something you could cut. Natural Resistance, I would keep. I would always use this because even a little bit of poison resistance can be very helpful. So I would definitely not consider this card optional. Iron Stomach, we do have good armor, so again, this extra resistance isn't necessary. Life Giver as well. So a lot of these perks, this is a place where you can actually cut and get back a lot of perk points if you are finding yourself short. And then strange in numbers, there's really not a lot of perks in charisma that are going to really do much for us. But strange in numbers will give us more benefit from our mutation. So this is definitely a perk I want to have. Now under intelligence, we have first aid. This will give us a little more boost from our stim packs. And I do use super stim packs, so this makes them pretty potent. Demolition expert, I do have fractures. That's what I have this for, fractures on my Tesla rifle. So it'll just increase the damage from those explosions. Science, all of my weapons are energy damage, so this will give me a damage boost to all of them. Batteries included, energy ammo is heavy, and that's all I'm carrying, so I definitely want to reduce the weight there. And gunsmith, energy weapons do tend to wear out kind of quickly, or quicker than their ballistic counterparts, at least in my experience. So reducing that break speed is important, and also because of the mods I'm using, that's also important. All right, so under agility, we have modern renegade. Limb damage is nice, but the reason I have this is for the extra hip fire accuracy. Then we have Gunslinger Expert. A couple of my weapons, two of my weapons are Furious. And so that will synergize nicely with these other Onslaught perks. So 1% range weak spot damage per Onslaught stack. Mainly I have this for the extra stacks. I'm, hitting weak spots, mostly hip firing. So I'm not really doing a lot of weak spot hitting. It's mainly for the extra 3 stacks. Guerrilla Expert, this will give me faster reload per stack. And we will cap out at 20 stacks. So at max, and we'll usually be, when we're reloading, we'll probably be close to max stacks generally, because that tends to be when you're reloading, is when you are fighting. So 20% there. Guerrilla Master, close enemies. Most of the fighting we do is actually up close. So a lot of the time we'll be within the right range for this, and that could be up to 100% more damage. Born Survivor, this is just so I don't have to pay attention to my health. And Adrenaline, when I'm fighting multiple enemies, this will just ramp up the damage up to a bonus 100%. Bloody Mess, just extra damage. Then we have Ricochet. Now we don't have really high luck, but this will still deflect attacks a good amount of time. And then Class Freak, some of my mutations have downsides that I would really like to minimize, which is why we are using this perk. Now I don't really use food buffs on this character, except I don't use foods actually that will expire. So I do not need Good with Salt. So that is another thing you could do. If you do use food buffs, you can actually move a couple I would say move points from strength, get rid of maybe easy target or scatter shot, and move the 2 points over here, and you could have Good with Salt. But it isn't something that I need. So here are the mutations I'm using. Speed Demon, faster movement speed, faster reload speed. Herd Mentality, +2 to all my specials. Main one here is Intelligence, because everything we get in Intelligence will amount to a little bit of extra damage. Egghead, same thing. Extra Intelligence feeds into that Science card, which is extra damage. I have Carnivore. There's not really any, I don't really need this. I wouldn't really need Carnivore or Herbivore, but one of the 2 foods that I do use is Pemmican, which gives you extra endurance, which is extra health. So why not? It's a free benefit, and there's no really downside for it for me. And then we have Bird Bones for extra agility. This is another perk you could actually probably take off and not notice much of a difference. And then Adrenal Reaction, which works like Adrenaline. It's 5% versus the 10%. And it stacks up to 10. That's 10 kills, not 10%. Now, as far as the foods, the only foods I always use are Perfect Bubblegum and Pemmican. Carnival Pie, I did an event, and I got that as a reward, so I consumed it, but that's not something that I normally use. So it's normally just the Pemmican, because I generate it at my camp, it doesn't spoil, and it doesn't have much weight. Perfect Bubblegum, because I use Overeaters on my armor. All right, so as far as the gear goes, we'll look at the outfit first. So we have the helmet, which is the Marine Armor helmet, and I have the Alaskan Winter paint on it. I think it goes really well. I don't like this black bar. I wish that would go away. But I think it matches up really well with the armor that I'm wearing. And then the Under Armour. Now, I am using Secret Service. This is the Alaskan Winter variety of the Secret Service. A better option, honestly, would be for, or at least if you were looking for the numbers, a better option would actually be Shielded Casual, because it would give you extra intelligence, which would just feed right into that Science card. But because I'm not wearing an outfit, I just have my armor and my Under Armour, this matches really well. So I'm actually going for appearance in this case. And it's not like the benefits are bad. +4 strength, +2 perception, +4 endurance, all useful benefits. But if you're going for, just trying to get every ounce of damage you could, Shielded Casual would be the stronger option. And then for my backpack, just a grocer's backpack. And in terms of looks, this is the best option I could have. I didn't really find anything that goes really well with the armor. But yeah, we do have the grocer's backpack. I could actually go without this. I don't carry a ton of food. It would only increase my carry weight by like 12 or 13, something like that, because I just don't have a lot of food. But since it's available, I'm going to take it. Now, as far as the armor goes, it is all Brotherhood Recon, and every piece is Overeaters. For the torso, we're using What are we using? We're using a jetpack, and all of the armor is buttress as well. So first star on all of the armor is overeaters. The second star is actually a mix. I have 2 pieces that are powered and 3 pieces that are intelligent. So extra 6 intelligence from my armor, which feeds into that science card. And as far as the third stars go, it is just kind of a mix. I haven't decided what third star I want. And so whatever random third star I ended up with is what I'm using. You can see I have through hikers on that one, durability on that one, sentinels, adamantium. I think they all have different stars, and then acrobats. So yeah, I haven't decided what third star I want, so I haven't really done anything about that. And as far as the 4-star goes, I actually have 3 pieces of Sawbones, and the reason I have 3 and not 5 is because that was just how many Sawbones mods I happen to have, and I put those on. Not really super important during combat, even though this works all the time, whether you're in combat or not. It's only 3 health per second, which isn't a lot, but it does serve to keep my health topped up just all the time, which is kind of nice. I'm not really sure if I had just all the mods available, if that's the way I would go, though. I'm kind of curious about Rangers. I mean, that might be kind of helpful. That's an extra 25% damage. It is off of the base, but all of these weapons have had their base damage increased. So it could actually be probably a meaningful number, but I'm doing just fine without it. So for now, just 3 pieces with Sawbones is fine. Now, as far as the weapon goes, actually the inspiration for the build was this weapon, the V63 carbine. It is designed as a hipfire weapon, so I thought it'd be kind of fun to do a build around that style of play. So the one I have is Furious with faster fire rate, extra durability, and polished. What I found while I was using this is it actually, compared to other energy weapons, it actually wears out kind of slowly. So I decided to go all in on that, which is why I put on durability on that 3rd star and then polished. And I repaired this to 200% a couple of weeks ago, and I'm still getting the full 60% from polished without having to repair it again. So this holds up condition really well. And so I do think polished, if you have that available to you, is a really good 4th star for this weapon. And I use the overclock capacitor. That is, I tried the other ones, and for me, this one just feels the best. I haven't done any kind of, in-depth comparison. I basically just have tried them all, and this is the one that I like the best, so that's the way I go. And then the stabilized stock, which helps us with the hipfire accuracy. And you can see AP cost is 30, which means from Number Cruncher, we get an extra 60% damage. My other weapon here is a Enclave plasma rifle. I have it modded with the same mods, actually. So it is Furious with faster fire rate, extra durability, and polished. This one, if you have durability and Gunsmith 3, it holds up reasonably well. Not quite as much as you would with the carbine. This one I'm getting, I think, 54%, but I did repair it like 2 weeks ago, up to 200%. So it's still wearing out. I mean, it's pretty slow, not as slow as the carbine, but still reasonable for polished. Then I have the prime capacitor. That just gives us the most damage, and that's really what I care about. I don't care about critical hits because I'm not doing them. So prime capacitor is the best option here. And then all the other mods are basically just for the highest AP cost we can get, and 25 is the highest AP cost you can get. So with Number Cruncher, that's an extra 50% damage. And then we have this Tesla rifle. It is quad with limb damage and faster reload. That probably should be durability. This thing wears out pretty quickly. And then fractures, the fractures effect. I actually did a video with this weapon not too far back. So yeah, this one's a lot of fun. This is mainly my crowd control weapon. It works great for that. Any kind of horde event or whatever, this is the weapon I'm going to use. And this one, you can't get the AP cost too high. The 17 is as high as I could possibly get it, but that's still an extra 34% from Number Cruncher. So we're going to start things off with the plasma flamer, because this is kind of my up close and personal weapon. And yeah, you can see there we go. Can't see the dog, but this is kind of a one-tap thing for most enemies, for close-up enemies. So yeah, this works pretty well for a situation like this. Nice thing about the plasma flamer, unlike the other 2 weapons, is that it's an ammo gainer for the most part. All you have to do, I mean, if you loot the enemies, most of the time you'll get back more ammo than you're using. And if you ever do like raids, daily ops, expeditions, you get back tons of ammo. In fact, I was doing raids. I did 3 raids yesterday, and my ammo went from normally about 5,000 to 10,000 just over the course of 3 raids. So yeah, it gains pretty quickly, and it is heavy. So it's nice to have the ammo storage box to have a place to put that, so I don't have to carry it. Because even with batteries included, it's still pretty heavy. So yeah, this is, but this thing's great. I mean, this is kind of, anytime an enemy's gonna be close, this is gonna be my weapon of choice. It just does so much more damage than just anything else, pretty much. Just basically just tap the trigger and enemy's dead. All right, let's try the carbine on this one. This is my long range weapon. Let's see, there we go. But you can see how stable it is. I mean, the carbine is so stable when it comes to that. But this section, we're actually going to use the Tesla. The Tesla actually works. I mean, it's great for crowd control, but it also works when you are fighting enemies and you don't always have a direct line of sight. Like they're around corners or there's obstacles in the way. And yeah, we do have that. I mean, basically for this style of play, the Tesla's great. You just basically just shoot the ground and everything just kind of dies. So it works really great for that. When you don't have, when you don't have direct line of sight, it actually works really well. Or if the enemy's moving weird or whatever, you need to shoot around corners. One thing it's not good at is ammo efficiency. Both of the carbine and this weapon, fusion cells are a thing. That's just kind of the nature of weapons that use fusion cells. Unless you're using like a single shot, you have like a sniper, laser rifle or something. Fusion cells just drop in smaller numbers than what you use. It's just kind of the way it works. Although I will say, again, doing daily ops, expeditions, raids, all of that repeatable content, you can have an ammo gain with these weapons, assuming you're playing on a team and you're not the one doing all of the shooting. It's not tremendous. It's not anything close to what you get from plasma. I think we can even hit this from this far. Yeah, there we go. It's not even close to what you get with plasma, but you can come out slightly ahead doing those things. But being on a full team really is what you want, so that you're not the one having to do, use all of the ammo. Let other people kind of share in that load, and then you can actually gain ammo that way. All right, so we found an Agua here. I want to see what we do. This is the Enclave Plasma Flamer. And it looks like, oh, Blood Eagles as well. Let's deal with this Agua, see how we do there. You can see the health Aguas are crazy tanky. So even when he's hiding in his shell, we're still able to take him out, without a reload. So yeah, we can finish off these other ones really easily. But yeah, against big tanky targets, the Enclave Plasma Flamer and Close Proximity are the choice of, that's gonna be my choice. It's time to see how the Carbine does against these Snallygasters. See, the damage is pretty nice. And yeah, hip firing is, this thing is, oh, I thought he was dead. This thing is great. And one thing I like about the energy weapons versus, say, their ballistic counterparts is the ammo capacity. I mean, this has 120 with the powerful, overclocked rather. The Tesla's the only one that's kind of a, I mean, you have to go quad on a Tesla, I think. I mean, 15 rounds just isn't enough. But for the Plasma Flamer, even with its ammo capacity cut in half with the latest update, still 150 rounds. So that's one of the reasons I like the energy over the ballistic, at least for this character, is just the ammo capacities are really nice. If I can find some Mirelurks. All right, they're just running. They don't care about me. So we're just going to play uh-oh. Well, so much for that. My Mirelurk impression... It didn't last very long. They eventually figured out who I was. And let's see, there's Blood Eagle and a thingy, and we're just gonna shoot anything that's red. Do we get them all? I guess we got them all without having to reload, which is pretty nice. So we have a kill streak of 7 going. So it'd be nice if we could actually get this one down. Okay. Well, she was only level 60 though. So yeah, level 100 would have taken a little more, but still, that was pretty quick. All right, so it looks like we got a legendary, 1-star legendary Scorch Beast. So let's see how we do against that. I mean, the Scorch should not be much of a problem at all. This thing, especially once you start building the adrenaline up, I would say the overclock, or not the the overheating mechanism. Problem with that, honestly, on this is that the overheating takes a lot of shots. And as soon as you stop shooting, it basically instantly goes away. So the overheating on this weapon, maybe against, like a boss where you're firing nonstop, is beneficial. But even then, once you run out of ammo and you have to reload, by the time your reload is done, the overheating is just gone as well. So let's see if we can entice him to land. All right, someone is shooting me, and it's kind of getting on my nerves with grenades. I don't know where they are. Now, this is a case where maybe I might... No, VATS scan isn't picking up anything other than the Scorch Beast either, so... Somewhere, someone's shooting at me. I have no red marker, no... Oh, there we go. Is this the one? Yep, this is the one. Let's get rid of him and his annoying little grenade thing, and come on. All right, now she's gonna do her fly around. All right, well, I mean, if she had just hold still, that would be easier. I mean, we're getting decent damage and a good rate of fire, but yeah, this is, sometimes this is where you'd use VATS, and that's one thing about the character. It's not like I'm not allowed to use VATS, it's just not spec'd that way. I mean, I could definitely use VATS if I need to. This is one of those ones where maybe you use it to cripple the wing, but we're doing good enough damage as it is. There we go. I think we're gonna get her before she actually lands. I think that's what's gonna happen. Yeah, there we go. A little drawn out, but still not a problem. And there you have it. This is my non-VATS Energy Commando character. I've been playing this more than anything else because it's my favorite style of play at the moment. It's with the latest adjustments we got between the perk cards, base damage adjustments on weapons, it actually just works really well. And just a reminder, there is a link to the build in the description below. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please hit one of the buttons, and I hope you'll join me in the next one. Thank you very much.